Alright everybody, today we are going to be creating a Google form. So let's start up here by going to create and down to form. Alright. So first thing we're going to have to do is give this form a title. I'm going to name this test, and we have a couple different themes to choose from. Now I love coffee, so I'm going to go to the espresso. Click OK. Alright, now we can start editing the form. So first thing we're going to do is probably give this a name, which we had already done, and we can change the name or give this a description. We can leave this at test, and we can create a description here, test Google form. Alright, now the first thing here we have is our options for our first question. Now I'm going to go down here and I'm going to name this, the title of the question, I'm going to say name. Okay, let's find out whose name this is. Now for question type we have a couple of different options. We have a multiple choice option. This would be great for doing some sort of a formative assessment. You can choose text, something a little bit longer, paragraph text. My favorite one is choose from a list. Okay, so we're going to give this a couple options here. We'll go Taylor would be our first name. Let's go Bob would be our second. Okay, one of the things that we might want to do is, for a lot of your forms, is make this a required question. What this means is that students or whoever you're giving this form to cannot submit the form unless they've answered all the questions that you've required them to answer. So let's make this a required question. Check this box and hit done. Alright, now with the new Google Forms, we're able to see what the question will look like on our form after we've hit done. Now another important thing that we might want to consider is these options up here. Okay, if you're going to be giving your form to students, you're going to want to make sure that you uncheck this box, because the students are in a different domain than the faculty and staff. The students have an @stu.waukesha domain for their email. The staff members are just an @Waukesha. Okay, so if I'm going to send this to students or just to anybody, I'm going to uncheck this box. Now this is an important step that that I sometimes forget to take when I give this to students, and then I have to go back. So it's important that you uncheck that box. Okay, if I want to add another question here, all right, I'm going to go to add item, and then you get to choose what type of question. Now if I'm going to have students submit something, homework or paper, presentation, something with a link, I'm going to usually ask what hour they're in. Okay, so I'm going to choose from a list again and say hour and give them options of 4B, 4B, or 5B. Okay, I'm going to make this one required as well and hit done. Now as I'm going along, if we want to view what our form would be like, we would have to click up here to view live form. You click that, it opens up a new tab. Thank you to my slow internet here at home. Hopefully this will open up, and boom, we have our espresso theme. Shows us exactly what the form would look like. Alright, I'm going to close this here, and I'm going to show you a couple different options for sending out your form. Now if I'm all done and I want to send this form in an email, I would click here to send form. Okay, then I could type in the group or the people that I want to receive this form in the email. Now if you send it in the email, they're not going to see your theme. Okay, they're going to get it embedded right in your email. So if I want to send this to, I'm going to just send this one to myself. Okay, you could also you could preload your classes in here. So if I went to World 7, World 3, I have those contacts in here as well. But I'm going to just send this one to myself. If I send it, oops, this is just not world. Let's delete that. I'm going to send this to myself. Okay, then it gives me this option. If you want to create a new spreadsheet for your form, you can do that. and it separates it into two different documents. You have your form and then your spreadsheet where you get all your results. So I like to go into a new spreadsheet. Okay, I'm going to hit choose, and it gives you a couple spreadsheet options. I usually go with just a standard one here, hit select, and great. Now if I go back to my folder that I created this in, I should have two different forms here. Okay, it'll give me two different forms. Here's test right here. Okay, here is my form. And I must have, my other spreadsheet should show up pretty soon. All right, if you want to send this form as a link, you can do that as well. You would go back here to send form. You could click on this link and copy the link. I'm going to do that. Copy. I'm going to hit done here. Again, I'm going to open this in an existing spreadsheet, or I could go to new spreadsheet. I'm going to do this one in a new spreadsheet here. Hit create. And if I want to send this in an email, I can click compose. I'm going to send this one again to myself. Okay, and then I'm going to create a link. So click here to view the Google form. Alright, if I do that, I'm going to highlight this term here, and I'm going to create a hyperlink. So I'd go insert link, click, I'm going to paste that URL right here, hit OK, and now in the email gives you this link. You can click to open, and boom, we have our great Espresso theme. I could send this out, and I now have two emails, one with my embedded form right in the email, and the other with a link to open up the form. And voila, we've created a Google form.